Posho Club, Ara Mazium Offices, Ikunda Bookshop, Kariakoo mtaa wa Mhonda, House of Wisdom, Mezzanine nambari 22 NHC House, Samora Avenue, Dar es Salaam, MacBooks and Brains, Mlimani City Mall, duka nambari 44, Dar es Salaam, TPH Books, barabara ya Samora, Elite Bookstore, Mbezi njia panda Goba, Mlimani Bookshop, Kariakoo mtaa wa Sikukuu na Lindi, Timiza Malengo, Ubungo Kona, Chuo Kikuu, Bookmart Online Shop, Instagram, Bookmart TZ, Twitter, Bookmart 1. Jamani Investment Limited, Nyerere Road, Airport Terminal 2, Shinyanga, Kahama Bookshop Center, mtaa wa Lumerezi, Arusha, Kase Bookstore, mtaa wa Sekei, A Novel Idea, TFA Center, Arusha Tanzania, Dodoma, Lugarawa Bookshop, Dodoma mjini, barabara ya 8, Moshi, Ape Bookshop, Moshi mjini, Christian Bookshop, Moshi mjini.
Wahi nakala yako sasa kwenye duka lolote lililopo karibu nawe.
Hi, my name is Kotaro Tokuda.
What's up? My name is Sean Garnier.
I'm John Barnes from Liverpool Football Club. The hip, hop, the hip it, the hip it, the hip, hip hop. You don't stop the rockin' to the bang bang boogie. Say up, jump the boogie to the rhythm of the boogie to beat. Now what you hear?
I'm watching Sports Gazette.
I'm watching Sport Gazette.
And you're watching Sports Gazette
With Sebastian.
With Sebastian. Peace out.
Yes! And you can also watch Sports Gazette for highlights and interviews regarding sports. Do not miss Sports Gazette every Wednesday at 7 p.m. only on Capital Television.
Ofa kabambe ni msimu mwingine wa sikukuu ya mwisho wa mwaka, na vituo vyako bora kabisa vya Capital Television na Capital Radio vinakupa ofa kabambe ya punguzo la bei kwenye matangazo yake. Kwa upande wa televisheni ni matangazo ya graphics, na upande wa radio ni matangazo madogo madogo, yani casual adverts. Ofa hii itaanza tarehe 1 mwezi Desemba hadi tarehe 30 mwezi Januari mwaka 2019. Karibu ufurahie ofa hii, ukuze biashara yako. Kwa maelezo zaidi wasiliana na idara ya masoko kwa simu namba 2775914 au 6 au nukushi 2775915 au barua pepe advertise.
News tonight. The second Airbus A220-300 lands in the country. And 2 people killed by police in Goma. In sports, TFF postpones the Yanga elections. Good evening, this is Capital News at 9:30. My name is Khadija Zimbwe. First, the national news. The President, Dr. John Pombe Magufuli, has ordered 2 out of 3 of the presidential planes to be painted ATCL colors and begin to be used to transport passengers when they are not being used by the President. President Magufuli made this statement when leading various leaders and residents of Dar es Salaam when receiving another new plane, the Airbus A220-300, which has been named Ngorongoro, that landed today at the Julius Nyerere International Airport in Dar es Salaam this afternoon from Canada.
And this is the benefit of paying revenue. The responsibility of leaders guiding this nation is to make sure that revenue collected from Tanzanians is used accordingly. It should not be misused. Not a cent. If money has been set aside for the purchase of an Airbus, then it should be spent as planned.
Kwa sasa uwezo wa kubeba mizigo mbali ya abiria
The capacity to carry passengers is as follows. For Bombardier Q400, it has capacity to carry 8.6 tons. Dreamliner Boeing 787, 48 tons. And for the two Airbuses that have just arrived, A220, each has a capacity to carry at least 19 tons. Trade progress.
Wenye uzito wa karibu tani 19. Tanzania hatukutarajia kuwa na shirika la ndege lililo hai lenye ndege zinazofikia sasa idadi hii kubwa.
We never expected Tanzania to own an active airline corporation with so many aeroplanes. Honorable President, you were not happy with the situation when you were a minister, but when you were elected, you decided to make this dream a reality for Tanzanians.
At the same time, the President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Dr. John Pombe Magufuli, earlier today met with the chairman of Bharti International Company, Sanil Mittal, at State House in Dar es Salaam, where they continued their discussion on the shares of mobile company Airtel. After the discussions, Sanil Mittal has agreed to increase the government shares on Airtel Tanzania from 40% to 49%, reducing the shares owned by Bharti Airtel from 60% to 51%.
Ameamua kuja hapa kwa ajili ya hili swala ambalo tumekuwa nalo kwa muda mrefu.
He has decided to pay us a visit regarding a long-standing matter between the government and Airtel. They've been in discussion. This is between his company and Tanzania, which is almost coming to an end. Airtel chairman has decided that Tanzanian shares will rise from 40%. As you know, previously we owned 40% of the shares and they owned 60%. Now their shares will reduce to 51% and ours will increase to 49%.
51%. Na sisi za Tanzania zitapanda kuwa 49%.
Negotiations, the government had clearly desired that it will need to step up its shares in the company. As you know, we have a joint venture where Airtel has 60%, which it acquired in 2010, and the government has 40%. The government desired that its shareholding be stepped up to a higher level. We have in principle agreed to move forward with a new arrangement of shareholding of 51-49, where Airtel will now drop from 60% to 51%, and the people of Tanzania, through the ownership of government of Tanzania, will own 49%.
The police force in the country has fired 8 officers of various ranks and taken to Mwanza Region's Resident Magistrate Court 12 people alleged to be involved in smuggling of gold weighing 319.59 kilograms worth more than 27 billion shillings, which is illegal.
Tumepeleka mahakamani watu 12.
We have taken to court 12 people who were involved in this saga. Among them, 4 are traders and 8 police officers. The police officers are accused of several charges, including corruption, among others. The police force has zero tolerance in corruption. We shall never support anyone dealing with corruption practices.
Maafisa wa polisi wanashtakiwa kwa makosa mbalimbali.
The High Court has planned to give its decision on the constitutional case opposing the new political parties bill that was launched by some political party leaders. The decision by the court comes after the side of the government asked the government to set aside the request made by the complainants on claims that complaint has legal gaps due to lack of some of their signatures. In the constitutional case, the government has said that the court does not have the legal authority to interfere with another part of the parliament, as the bill is already in parliament, and one of the complainants, Zito Kabwe, is a member of parliament. Thus, he has the authority to place a personal objection to oppose the bill instead of going to another organ and place a barrier. Now, the attorneys of the complainants have asked the court to dismiss the bill as it goes against the constitution, which is the ruling law, and also because it infringes on human rights. High Court Judge Ben Masood has postponed postponed the case to January 14th when he will give his decision. Now, moving on, the roof of 119 houses in Masekela Ward, Shinyanga district have been blown right off and fallen to the ground. At the same time, the residents of 30 wards did not have a place to stay following powerful hailstorms. The Deputy Executive Officer of Masekela Ward, Blandina Joseph, gave the number of houses that were affected by the hailstorms and also called upon the residents to cultivate the habit of planting trees in their areas as to reduce the effect caused by powerful winds.
There was help made of mud. Now you can see how it has been ruined.
Tatizo kwamba Mwenyezi Mungu ndiye alikuwa ameamua tu kwamba alete kasanga hivyo.
Kiukweli hali ilikuwa ni ngumu na ilikuwa ni mbaya sana kwa sababu nilikuta niko hapa nyumbani.
I was faced with a very difficult time as my family was not at home. Bricks were falling down all around me, but luckily I escaped with no injuries.
Jumla ya waathirika wa maafa ni 112.
112 residents have been affected in Masekelo. 30 families have been left with no home and have been given shelter by neighbors. It is important for people to plant trees near their houses, but also to care for one another. We've also been to schools to inspect the extent of the damage has been done to teachers' houses. It is clear that the buildings were built below standard. The committee in charge of construction did not do a good job, so we ask the construction committee to observe building regulations.
Tanzania Rural and Road Agency TARURA has directed Global Link General Enterprises Company to redo at their own cost construction of the City Park Road in Mbeya that was built at tarmac level because the tarmac has already started to be destroyed only a week since it began to be used.
This road was reconstructed at normal standard and showed failure construction procedures professionally before handing over a road. A contractor has time to do final touches and evaluate the work with our supervisor, analyzing work done. Experts should monitor closely so as to get a good standard road which can be used in all seasons for a long time. At this period, we shall have to use the alternative roads. However, in the meantime, I would urge drivers to adhere to stipulated laws.
The Minister of Land, Housing and Human Settlements Development, William Lukuvi, has directed Simanjiro District Council to redo the verification of ownership of over 50 large farms that are not being used for agriculture and livestock ranching, so that those discovered going against the procedures should have their titles dissolved and be given to residents and other investors that can develop them.
Huwezi kuwa na shamba la ekari 4,000 halafu ukafuga kifamilia. Sasa nataka hiyo taarifa katika mwezi ujao.
You cannot own a farm of 4,000 hectares and rear cattle for domestic purposes. I want that information by next month. Legally, I know that for one to own a farm must pay land tax and develop the area, but in Simanjiro, I'm going to add a few conditions, including having employees to take care of the land and produce crops for commercial purposes. If anyone is going against these regulations, then report them immediately.
Hata kama analipa kodi ardhi.
Everyone now knows the value of land, which has been the cause of so many conflicts. This situation is known by everyone. I ask for assistance so that boundaries can be drawn. Land has been left undeveloped. We have been using it to farm our crops, but we don't have title deeds.
The promise made by Dr. Shane's government to build a bridge in Kibondo Mzungu area has started to be implemented in the area, which has caused deaths during the rainy season. It has been an enormous source of trouble for the residents. The construction of the bridge was set off by the Minister for State in the President's Office for Constitutional and Legal Affairs, Harun Suleiman, who himself laid the foundation stone for the bridge.
Engineers awarded this contract have a big responsibility. My duty is to look on how the money is spent. We're happy so far with the work you've done, but you must work hard so that the work reflects the amount of money that has been invested.
Mradi huu unagharamiwa na Serikali ya Mapinduzi ya Zanzibar kupitia Wizara ya Fedha na Mipango.
This project is financed by the government of Zanzibar through Ministry of Finance and Planning. Estimated to cost 4,845,000,000 Tanzanian shillings, this project is expected to be completed in March and the road expanded.
Na upanuzi wa barabara.
Daraja hili litakapokamilika,
once this bridge is ready, it will ease access to transport for the people in southern region. We are grateful.
And that is the end of national news. International news follows shortly. And in international news, 2 people have been killed by the police in Goma when in an interaction with the police. The 2 were followers of Martin Fayulu, who were opposing the Independent Electoral Commission Seni results. Now, moving on, citizens of Democratic Republic of Congo who escaped to Rwanda due to lack of safety in their country have asked the president-elect of DRC, Felix Tshisekedi, to restore safety in the east of Congo so that they can go back home in the certainty of living in peace.
Kwa nini tumefanya fikra kama hiyo?
We have decided to be patriotic after reading the letter from President Yoweri Museveni of Uganda to President Pierre Nkurunziza of Burundi, pleading for our president on the current situation in the country.
Acha tumzindue, tumeonyesha kama kuna vazi ya ukweli wa historia ya Burundi.
500 wards have asked for a national mediator in Burundi so that they can be permitted to resume farming in their farms after they were stopped by the National Defense Council for safety reasons.
RC to restore peace so those of us in exile can return home with an assurance of living a peaceful life in our own land. The economy has snapped. The local currency has lost so much value against the dollar. What we ask him to focus on before anything else is the economy, as some of us are poor.
And that is the end of international news. Business news follows shortly after the break. We'll be right back.
Watch Business Edition as we talk to business leaders and experts in sectors that are transforming Tanzania's economy.
To be rich, I have to be a business person.
It's not an easy road at all.
People need to understand. You must quickly think, how cost effective are you going to be?
Business acts as a way in which it can bridge that gap.
Business Edition will keep you informed on latest developments in the financial sector, extractive industry, tourism, agriculture, energy, construction, and so much more. Meet entrepreneurs who create employment opportunities. Watch Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m.
Welcome back, and in business news tonight. To bring about a fair competition in production, how business is done in the country, the Fair Competition Commission, FCC, has been directed to implement their duties by following the law, procedures and equality.
If he brings the goods, he will sell, but he will not stay long in the market. He will be hurting the factory owner and the consumers. Hence the need to control entry of counterfeit goods. Your job calls for patriotism and trustworthiness of the highest order.
Inahitaji uadilifu wa hali ya juu.
Kama vile tume ya ushindani na mamlaka za udhibiti.
The regulatory body did not just focus on creating a fair market system, but also it intended to regulate companies that offer various services, particularly those dealing with infrastructure, which operates under a lot of secrecy.
Now, card users from NMB Bank have won 100,000 and phones worth 2 million shillings in the NMB Master Battle promotion within 1 month.
Leo hii pamoja na washindi 20 vile vile tumetoa simu 6.
Today, in addition to the 20 winners, we've also given out 6 mobile phone handsets. The draw will be extended to another month, which will be followed by 4 draws, expected to get 80 winners and 4 mobile phone winners. Towards the end, there will be the grand final draw, whereby 3 winners will be offered a trip to Dubai.
Hi, my name is Capitaltvtz.
What's up? My name is Céline Garnier.
I'm John Barnes from Liverpool Football Club. The hip, hop, a hip it, the hip it, the hip, hip, hop it. Don't stop the rockin' to the bang bang boogie. Say up, jump the boogie to the rhythm of the boogie to beat. Now what you hear?
I'm watching Sports Gazette.
I'm watching Sport Gazette.
And you're watching Sports Gazette
with Sebastian.
With Sebastian. Peace out.
Yes! And you can also watch Sports Gazette for highlights and interviews regarding sports. Do not miss Sports Gazette every Wednesday at 7 p.m. only on Capital Television.
Welcome back, and in sports news. The Football Federation TFF has postponed the Young Africans general elections after several members went to court to protest the election.
Our schedule for Yanga elections is 13th of January. Today, when we were in the last meetings to make sure if everything is going well, we received information that several younger members have opened cases to stop the election here in Dar es Salaam, Dodoma, Mbeya, Morogoro, and other areas.
Dodoma, Mbeya, Morogoro na sehemu nyinginezo.
Simba Sports Club management says the Mapinduzi Cup has helped them in preparing for their tomorrow's Champions League game against JS Algeria, which will be played at the National Stadium in Dar es Salaam.
We were not just training, but playing matches as well, and this has helped us to see our players' performances. Another thing is we respect our opponent Sura because they are coming from the best league in Africa, and they are not in the top of their league, but we respect them since they were the champions last year.
The Minister of the boxing stakeholder before March.
Mimi niombe tu kwamba tarehe mtakaochagua kufanya uchaguzi.
I would just like to urge you that the date you choose for elections should not exceed March this year. So between now and March, I urge you to complete the whole process of elections.
Britain's Andy Murray says he plans to retire after this year's Wimbledon, but fears next week's Australian Open could be the final tournament of his career. Here are more details.
The three-time Grand Slam winner, who is struggling to recover from hip surgery, was in tears at a news conference in Melbourne on Friday. "I'm not sure if I'm able to play through the pain for another 4 or 5 months," said the 31-year-old Scot. "I want to get to Wimbledon and stop, but I'm not certain I can do that." However, Murray says he still intends to play his Australian Open first-round match against Spanish 22nd seed Roberto Bautista Agut next week.
And police in Las Vegas have issued a warrant for a DNA sample from Cristiano Ronaldo as part of the investigation into the rape allegations made against the Juventus forward. Here are more details.
Lawyer Peter S. Christensen told BBC Sport it was a very standard request. The Wall Street Journal said the warrant was recently sent to the court system in Italy. Ronaldo denies assaulting Catherine Mayorga at a Las Vegas hotel in 2009. German weekly news magazine Der Spiegel, which first published a story about the allegation in October, said Ms. Mayorga filed a report with Las Vegas police shortly after the alleged incident.
And that sports item ends our news bulletin for tonight. My name is Khadija Zimbwe. Thank you for watching and good night.
Catch up with all the entertainment in Dar es Salaam and beyond on Out and About every Saturday.
Out and About.
And you're all very welcome. Karibuni sana.
Catch up with all the entertainment in Dar es Salaam and beyond on Out and About every Saturday.
Kitabu cha Dr. Reginald Abraham Mengi kitwacho I Can, I Must, I Will sasa kinapatikana kwenye maduka ya kuuza vitabu yafuatayo: Dar es Salaam, A Novel Idea, Slipway Msasani, Yacht Club Road, Msasani Peninsula, The Book Cave, Mbezi Rainbow, Social Club, Ara Museum Offices, Ikunda Bookshop, Kariakoo mtaa wa Mhonda, House of Wisdom, Mezzanine nambari 22 NHC Mall, duka nambari 44, Dar es Salaam. So, Mbezi njia panda Goba, Mlimani Bookshop, Kariakoo mtaa wa Sikukuu na Lindi. Timiza malengo. Bookmart Online Shop, Instagram Book 1. Jamani Investment Limited, Nyerere Road, Airport Terminal 2, Shinyanga. Kahama Bookshop Center, mtaa wa Lumerezi, Arusha. Kase Bookstore, mtaa wa Sekei. A Novel Idea, TFA Center, Arusha, Tanzania. Dodoma, Lugarawa Bookshop, Dodoma mjini, barabara ya 8.
Karibu nawe.
Karen, tell us, how has it been going at this year's festival?
Well, the turnout, Vanessa, is amazing as it is.
Thomas, hello.
Nice to be there with you.
What is the purpose of this meeting and who will be in attendance?
Talking about how African countries can stop relying to a large extent on...
We are definitely seeing a lot of deeply political films, directly treating with a political subtext.
Don't miss the live special report between Capitaltvtz and Dashwell Television at 9:30 p.m.
Ongezeko, manake ni kwamba kuna sababu za hilo ongezeko.
Yeah.
Ni lazima tuangalie sababu za ongezeko. Tukisha angalia sababu za ongezeko, tuliangalia ongezeko. Alafu tukisha angalia ile ongezeko, tuangalie sasa mikakati ya hilo ongezeko. Nataka niseme tu kwamba lipo ongezeko la wanafunzi walio sio tu kujiunga kidato cha kwanza, lakini walioandikishwa katika ngazi za awali, elimu ya msingi na elimu ya sekondari.
Maana tarehe 7 nilishuhudia pia vile vile shule nyingi wanafunzi wako wengi, idadi kubwa ya wanafunzi, changamoto madarasa.
Na ongezeko sisi tulichukulia kama ni changamoto. Hiyo sio changamoto, kwa ni mafanikio makubwa. Lakini sababu za hilo ongezeko ni nyingi, na mojawapo ni mchango mkubwa wa Dar es Salaam. Tukisema mchango mkubwa wa wadau wa Dar es Salaam, tunaithibitisha kwenye idadi ya wanafunzi, kwa mfano waliofanya mtihani wa darasa la 7 mwaka 2018. Hakuna mkoa ambao umefanyisha mtihani wanafunzi wengi kama ilivyokuwa kwa mkoa wa Dar es Salaam. Utaona katika takwimu ambazo mmekuwa mkizipata hapa na pale kwamba wanafunzi wengi karibu 70 na kitu elfu walifanya mtihani wa darasa la 7 2018. Na wanafunzi 64 na kitu 64,851 hivi walifaulu mtihani huo. Sasa hizi zote hizi sasa tunasema ni mafanikio ambayo yanatokana na nguvu za wadau. Na katika kulizungumza hili, ninataka nitambue mchango wa wadau waliofanya sasa ufaulu huo kuwa ni mkubwa, ukiacha yale masuala yanayohusiana